Elon Musk and Doge, and how you see that fitting into the state of the American empire.
There's nothing new, original, extraordinary about all of that, with one exception. The choice of a person who is not given a top government job to do this, to have this sort of friend. I don't know how to describe what you would call him. I know it's called the Department of Government Efficiency, but I don't believe there is such a, they made that up. There was no existing, and I don't even think they've gone through some bureaucratic, there is a way to add a person to the cabinet. You could have we haven't always had an EPA. We haven't always had a whole bunch of agencies. Over time, if something is needed, you could do that. You could have developed a Department of Government Efficiency long ago if you wanted that. But my understanding, it doesn't exist. It's just a made-up thing. So that is unusual that a person who's a friend is given such an important position. And then it's also unusual that friend is the largest contributor of money to a political operation, I believe, in American history. If I have understood correctly, it's somewhere around $300 million, one way or another, through one channel or another, that he contributed to Mr. Trump's effort this last time.
Oh, wow.
Huge amounts of money. And it's also a person who is contributing. I know right now that on Tuesday is an election in Wisconsin. They elect their Supreme Court judges. So there's an election for a Supreme Court judge. And if I understand the political, it's a 50-50 split on the Supreme Court, so that this election will kind of tilt the balance which way that court goes. And the left and right, Wisconsin is a state of importance because it's not either in one camp or the other. It's half-half. He is giving money, I believe $100, to every voter who signs a petition that he has, and he has circulating. Now, obviously, the idea is, if I can get this person to sign the petition for $100, I'm going to let them know I want their vote. You can't literally give people money for a vote. I believe that's a crime in most states. You can't do that. Of course, that's a crime because we used to do that in this country. And then there was an outrage and it stopped. So he's skirting that law to do this. A person who gives money to buy voters, whether it was in the presidential election or in Wisconsin, or in who knows how many other. I haven't done the work, and I'm not aware of anybody who's asked the question, to whom else has he given money? We do know that he went to Germany and spoke there before their last election about how the people should vote for the extreme right-wing party. I don't know if you're familiar with that. The party is called the Alternative für Deutschland, AfD. It got about 20-something% of the vote, did very well in the last election. He visited Germany and said, this is the only party that can save Germany. An extraordinary act. In case your audience is not aware, there are 4 or 5 other parties in Germany. It's a multi-party society. All the other parties, all 5 of them, have vowed never to work with, never to have a coalition with that alternative, because they are thought of as the inheritors of the Nazi history. The leading advisor to the President of the United States officially goes and supports the extreme. You want to know why the Germans are upset with the United States? Before you get to the tariff on BMWs and Mercedes, which is coming, and that's terrible for the Germans. Their exports of cars to the United States are very important for the German economy. So you can bet they are scrambling now, really. But even before that, this kind of interference in their internal politics, holy mackerel. And I don't know if he gave money. I don't know if it's known, and I don't know how much it might be. But given what he's done everywhere else, I wouldn't be surprised. And since his wealth is listed, last I saw, at around $400 billion, giving 10, 20, or 100, or 200, or $300 million is immaterial to him. It's like you're giving me a quarter from my next political race. Thank you very much, but it's a quarter. That's unique, that a big, huge money donor becomes a kind of an adjunct to the president without being part of the administration the way others are. So, for example, he doesn't have to go before the Senate to be approved. They get to have him there. It might have been brought out by Senate research, which they're supposed to do, what he has done in his life, and that might have made it much more difficult for Mr. Trump to give him the power he has. He comes from South Africa. Ooh, that might be an issue. What did he do there, given the horrors of that society and its history? Anyway, all of that was avoided by this maneuver. Okay, that's interesting, that's unusual. Other than that, everything is the same.